Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share the actual cost for $5,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 71-year-old female. Now, first thing you need to understand is you can go to our website at funeralfunds.com, and we've got these quoters on just about every page. If you just click the state and then click the state that you live in, and we are licensed in all 50 states, by the way, and you click the coverage amount, enter whatever you want, and then you fill out the rest of the info and click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that shows all the best insurance companies in the United States, and specifically the best ones in your state. And then you will also see the lowest rates, and you can be a super smart consumer. You can also call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456, and talk with one of our licensed agents, and they can get you pricing as well. Now, the first thing you need to know, if you are a 71-year-old female looking for $5,000 worth of insurance is $5,000 enough? Now, typically that would be either a cremation or a burial that you are looking for. Now, the average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. Now, that's if you just come home in a cardboard box or an urn. If you're going to have some sort of ceremony along with the cremation, that's probably going to be between $3,500 to $4,500. So if you're looking for $5,000 worth of insurance, that might be appropriate. If you have $5,000 worth of insurance right now, that might be appropriate. Now, typically what we would recommend if you're just coming home in a cardboard box or an urn is around a $5,000 policy because you're age 71. And I would imagine you're hoping you'll get to 81 and maybe even a little higher, maybe 91. We just want to make sure that we build in a little bit extra coverage just to make sure that if you live a long time, that there's going to be enough to pay for it when you pass away. So $5,000 typically enough for a 71-year-old female. Now, if you're going to have that remembrance ceremony and the cremation, we would typically recommend somewhere between $7,000 to $10,000. That's generally adequate. We don't recommend people get like $25,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 and plan on leaving money for the kids and all this other stuff. Because at age 71, the insurance is going to be a little bit more expensive anyway, just because you wait until age 71. So it's probably the wrong time to buy this insurance if you just want to have money go to the family. And also, the insurance is going to cost more the more you get. So our belief is typically that, that money is better spent on your family while you're alive rather than giving that money to an insurance company to give your family after you're dead. That way you've got the memories while you're still here, and they will have those memories for the rest of their life. So just kind of think about that. Now, if you're going to be buried, the average cost of a burial in the United States right now is right about $10,000. Now, that's not going to be very fancy, I can assure you of that. So if you're looking at a $5,000 policy to pay for a burial, that's not going to do the job. But some people might be looking for $5,000 because maybe they have an existing $5,000 or $10,000 policy, and it was enough when they got that policy, but now the prices have gone up, they know it's not enough. So $5,000 might be appropriate in that situation. But for a 71-year-old female, we're typically recommending between $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000 just to take care of your final expense needs. That's going to take care of most everyone. But also keep in mind that, if your budget's tight, just get what you can afford. If you can only afford $10,000, or $5,000, get that, because if you don't have that insurance, your family's going to and loved ones are going to have to pay that money, and chances are that they aren't going to have it when you pass away, and it's going to be a tremendous financial burden on them. So just keep in mind, get what you can with the money you have. We can always help you add more coverage later. Now, the next thing we really recommend is getting first day coverage or benefits, and that's what we help people with at Funeral Funds of America. And that's really important. What that means is that hypothetically, if your policy went into force today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would pay the full death benefit. And that's really important because there's a lot of plans out there that have 2-year waiting periods. And we don't recommend that because they won't pay any death benefit if you die of a health or medical reason in the first 2 years. And that kind of stinks. Those are not good policies and they're expensive. Now, some people would say, I really want a first day coverage plan, but I hear they ask health questions and I'm not in the best of health. To which we would say, hey, that's our problem. That's not your problem. we work with enough different insurance companies. They all have different underwriting requirements. They all have different health questions. And we've got a 90 to 95% first day coverage approval rate with folks. So you let us worry about that. Really, the only reason you wouldn't qualify for first day coverage is if you had some pretty significant health issues going on, like a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or you're in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd probably refer you out to a different company. Now, also, it seems like every week we get a phone call from somebody who says, we had a family member pass away this last week, and they didn't have any insurance. We don't have any money. Their body's down at the funeral home. The funeral director's not going to do anything until he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance real quick so we can get a check in our hand, so we can get a check in the funeral director's hands. We have to tell these folks that, unfortunately, there's no company in the United States that's going to offer an insurance policy on a dead person. It does not work that way. The essence of life insurance is you have to have some life left in you to get the insurance. So you can't be dead. So it's just really terrible and tragic that somebody knew they were going to die sometime and they thought they'd always have time to get this insurance. And then they went and died. And now their family is not only suffering financially because they don't have the money, but also emotionally, because what a stress to have the body down at the funeral home and having to scramble with that money and then come to terms with the fact that somebody you loved and cared so much really dumped this on you and made an already difficult situation absolutely terrible. So don't be that person. This insurance is affordable. It's important. Don't be that person who dumps this on your family. Don't be that person. So the policies we don't recommend are the 2-year waiting period plans. And there's a lot of companies out there that do that. Colonial Penn is probably one of the more well-known one. I think they're more well-known just because they advertise on TV. Seems like every 7 minutes. But 2-year waiting period. They won't pay, their $9.95 plan is a 2-year waiting period. Won't pay out a penny. And life insurance death benefit if you die in the first 2 years of any health or medical related cause of death. And there's other companies out there too. There's Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line. You've got AIG, Gerber, and there's other companies out there too that's all they sell is 2-year waiting period plans. And some of these companies have done an amazing job at convincing the American public that the only thing that anybody over age 50 will qualify for is a 2-year waiting period, to which we go, ha, 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 ha. Do not be misinformed, American public, because that's all we help people with at Funeral Funds of America is first day coverage. So don't fall for that silly marketing. Those marketers are crafty as can be. So let's take a look at some pricing here. Now, Colonial Penn, female age 71, a lot of times a 71-year-old female would look at that commercial on TV and go, oh my gosh, I'm so smart for waiting. I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000 for $9.95. And then they talk with somebody at Colonial Penn, or they pull it up on the website like we've done here. A 71-year-old female for $9.95. One unit is $949. Let me tell you, it's not even enough for a cremation that we know of in any part of the country. And it doesn't really matter because it wouldn't pay out for 2 years anyway if you died of a health or medical reason. And that $949 is going to be less 2 years from now than it is right now. So don't fall for such sly marketing practices. $9.95 for $949. But let's take a look. Now, Colonial Penn's got this per unit pricing, and that always ends up with really wackadoodle numbers like $949. Most other insurance companies, you could buy $5,000 on the nose, but we're going to have to play around with these numbers. I'm going to guess around 5 units. We may be slightly just on 47, 45. You can't even get $5,000 on the nose with the $9.95 plan. So $5,000 roughly, 47, 45 for 5 units is roughly $49.75. So roughly $50. Let's take a look at what first day coverage would be. So we've got $5,000, female, age 71. Here we go. We're going to get a quote. Yeehaw. Now let's go back and look at this. Roughly $5,000 for roughly $50. And we're going to be $5,000 for $28. $8.79. Now, if we got this up, let's bump this up. I want to show you what it looks like here. It's 6 units. 6 units. So 6 units would be $56.94, roughly $60. And then we come in here, and this is roughly 28. So the Colonial Penn plan, just rough numbers. I'm not pulling out my calculator for this. Rough numbers, the Colonial Penn is roughly 200% more expensive than this company here, Trinity Life Insurance Company. We work with them. They're a great company. Level means first day coverage. And they have great pricing. So when you buy a Colonial Penn plan that's roughly 200% more expensive, you not only get higher prices for the rest of your life, they will bless you with that. Or would that be a curse? Oh, and also, you get the 2-year waiting period. So why? You know, why? Why would you pay double and get a 2-year waiting period and let them charge you more for the rest of your life? That's very interesting. So it's roughly a $30 difference. You know, Colonial Penn's going to be roughly $30 more a month expensive. That's $360 a year, roughly. If you had that Colonial Penn policy 10 years, that would be up to age 81. That would be roughly an extra $3,600 more. $1,600 more. Why on earth would you buy a policy that's more expensive, has a 2-year waiting period policy, and after 10 years is going to cost you an additional $3,600 on a $5,000 policy? That does not make sense to me. I don't know. Maybe you like spending money. Let's look at some other companies here. Spending money unnecessarily anyway. Let's find another. Oh, here's another one. Lincoln Heritage. They're a fine company, I suppose. They are more expensive. Did you notice that? $42.59 level coverage, first day coverage. That's good. But they've got a plan where when you pass away, they will call 2 or 3 funeral homes, maybe do a couple other things, and like supposedly get you the best pricing. But there's a fee for that. They charge for it. It's not free. So that's roughly $43 compared to 28. So that's roughly $15 more a month. That is roughly $180 a year. And if you have that plan for 10 years, you will have overpaid right at about $1,800, roundabout, just roughly. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth paying a company like $1,800 to make 2 or 3 phone calls, maybe do a couple other things that might only take an hour or so? Seems like that's a pretty good payday if you're an insurance company, but we recommend you don't do that. We recommend you keep the money in your own pocket. What we actually do at Funeral Funds of America is we've got a free funeral and estate planning guide. You just fill that out, who gets what goes where, what your final wishes are after you pass away, burial, cremation, place, time, all that stuff. And you fill that out, you keep it with your insurance policy, and that way when you pass away, your family has everything. They're protected financially with the insurance policy, but they're also protected emotionally because you've laid out everything in advance for them. And they don't have to worry about a thing except executing your wishes, knowing that everything you wanted done is going to get done. And what a burden that lifts off of folks. And you don't have to pay like $1,800 more. Think about this. If you live an extra 20 years, that's like $3,600 more on a $5,000 policy. It does not seem wise. You'll be able to see all these different insurance companies, and we can help you. We can help you get the lowest pricing. So go to funeralfunds.com. We've got these quarters on just about every page. You can call us directly, 888-862-9456. We've got a special quote page for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And we've got a special quoter there that you can get the best prices and discounts. And no matter what you're looking for, if you've got an existing policy and you just want to price shop it to see if you got the best pricing or add coverage to it, we can help you out there. If you're looking for a brand new policy, we can help you out there. If you just want some help, information, or try just help understanding how these things work, just reach out to us. We'd love to help you out with this. And until that day comes, you stay safe You take care. You have a nice day. Bye-bye.